Mike Tucci. You may have known him from his days at Masterdisc in NYC, but since then he's relocated to Hollywood, California and has his own super cool studio. Mike is a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum, international award-winning mastering engineer and musician. Mike does all kinds of mastering for all genres, including folks like Living Colour, Cory Henry, Chris Brown and Young Thug, and DMAs. Mike is also known for his work with his band Unstoppable Death Machines, which he can tell you a couple of crazy stories about, but I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous Mike Tucci.
What's up? Thanks, Colin.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good. We just finished a big release, so I either need a nap or something, maybe more breakfast, I don't know. But in any event, I'm glad you can spend some time with us today. I had some just kind of interview-ish questions for you, if I may. Just like, how did you decide, you were working in Queens or Brooklyn, and then at some point you decided to relocate to, to California. What prompted that? Want a warmer weather? Sunshine? I don't know. Earthquakes?
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were migrating out here. So, and I came out, I've been to LA before while I was touring in my band. I had a pretty decent grasp of it. And, I always liked it when I came out here. And I just said, let me just try something new. Like, let me just take a gamble. And it turned out to be good, your
discography has got some pretty big names. I picked out a couple people that I knew, like, Chris Lord-Alge, Bob Horn, Jason Joshua. Yeah, you've also done some international work too. Do you sleep or do you just keep at it all the time, or 7 days a week, 9 days a week? How do you do it?
I'm like 7-Eleven, 24/7 here. Yeah, I do a lot of international stuff. Australia has a really great rock scene.
The DMAs are from Australia, is that right?
DMAs are from Australia, yeah. DZ Death Rays, Jack River, Cub Sport, Andy Golage, Ocean Alley, Planet, Le Shiv, Green Buzzard. These are all really amazing, like, Australian bands that I think a lot more people in America would actually like if they got some more shine out here. Done some stuff, some K-pop stuff as well, some artists in Italy. I had a #1 album in Zimbabwe like a year or two ago.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so, I'm all over the place,
Did you always see yourself as a mastering engineer? It just sort of, did it just sort of happen that way, or?
No, someone else saw me as a mastering engineer before I even thought about it. I was working with this producer in Brooklyn. His name is Jay Braun. He's like one of the most talented producers I've ever really known. And we were working on an album together. And like one day he just looked over to me and was like, "Oh, you should be a mastering engineer." And Jay was like, "Oh, you should just write a letter to Masterdisc." I was like, all right. I just wrote a letter to Masterdisc one day. I was like, info@masterdisc.com or something like that. And I was like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. And come in for an interview.
The folks, Luca has told me you actually have put together some sessions and stuff you might want to show us. And gosh, they just might happen to use some of this new McDSP version 7 plugin Shabadoo. First, really, for myself personally, I always learn more every time I watch someone else who knows what they're doing use our products and go, this is cool, this is something that you might want to fuss with, whatever. So let me have it, Mike.
Yeah, I got some music up here. The artist is Tristan Simone. It was mixed by Luca. The song is called Ain't Heard.
I don't know where to go. I don't have a vision for tomorrow. I don't really think about it, but I'm running out of money and the rapper lifestyle, it ain't doing it for me. Daddy helping with the bills, like, don't think I think you're there. Don't think twice, just be glad. Would be nice to be strong. Would be nice to survive. Can I do it at my home? Can I don't know if I'm built for this shit. Writing down 9 to 2, playing my mixtape and mix. The block chants and they got you all fired up. 2 songs there, they got you shaking your hips and your pussy lips hiss. What do you mean? Don't be nasty. You told me you like it disgusting. So go on and run on, just go off different. Come on, these hypocrites, liars, and goblins. Morning sunshine coming through my window. When it hits me in the face, I'm awake, I'm dehydrated. Hungover, there's no water in the room, I puke poison. I think I'm dying pretty soon. Did I ever tell you the story of Atlanta? Boy, you better keep a mouth shut about what happened. It's a pretty itty bitty little secret that is living in the streets, propagated by the gates, but you ain't heard it from me. You ain't heard it from me. You ain't heard it from me. Yeah, you heard it in the streets. You ain't heard it from me. You ain't heard it from me. If you ask me, I say you best believe that you ain't heard it from me. You ain't heard it from me. You ain't heard it from me. Yeah, you heard it in the streets. If you ask me, I say you best believe that you ain't heard it from me.
Yeah, so that's that retro EQ. It's really nice. You know, the low end is nice and round. Just adds that little bit of just like presence. Just makes things pop out more. You know, these small moves just do a lot, and it's subtle. It just makes things just like more present. I've also got this ultimate EQ. I think I have this tape simulator, the analog, the AC202, and then I have some multi-band action happening as well. So I'll just go through them again. I'll put them all on slowly.
I got the empathy, I'm on you heavily. My personality increased in apathy. I became enemy, you became everything. Believe it or not, I cherish you heavily. And I do enough to be poisoned by you, enough to be haunted and bruised. My poetry honors me, talk about truth. Abandon the urgency, Tristan is loose. How come you run under the sun? I am the one, the son of rum, son of a crumb, son of a bitch who kills and comes. I him and hum, yo, I promise you I get it now. Don't go into detail, you'll be incriminated by the same people that told you that eliminate all your problems. But here we are now, you repeated all the same mistakes. Did you hear about the condom? Did you hear about Las Vegas, Massachusetts, or Atlanta? Into the depths of Wyoming, into a teepee hut, and it felt like an omen. It was a moment of realization. I got the empathy, I'm on you heavily. My personality increasing.
Yeah, so all these tools are doing really subtle things, but you know, it's really shaping the low end in a way that is both punchy, nice and round, and the tape, the analog, the AC202 is just offering some like tape bounce of like whatever 40 hertz or something like that. I have the Swiss thing. I'm assuming it's like some kind of a emulation of the Studer.
Yep.
These things are all like, you know, a little bit goes a long way with all this stuff, and it all sounds really clear. The multi-band's doing just like really subtle, just tightening up low end and just a tiny bit of that upper mid-range 2K-ish area.
A lot of the styles of music you're doing really have a lot going on in the low end. So would you consider that one of your specialties then?
A few people have said that they really like the low end, and you know, I work with Shaw Money XL, and he was like, whatever you're doing with your low end, just keep it going. You know, there's no cookie cutter size way of going about it. It's just bass is good, and today it seems like everyone's kind of borrowing, you know, the sonic imprint of like, you know, rap music. You know, even in country records, there's like, you know, there's sub frequencies in there now. You know, and people kind of like that, and I like it too. So it kind of works out.
After seeing some of these McDSP plugins, would you say like, you know, the Retro EQ or the Ultimate EQ or the ML4 and the ML4000 or the AC202 analog channel, those are some of your go-tos or your favorites at this point?
Yeah, the 4020 definitely, it offers some of that analog feel. The AC202 is great because I love tape. I literally used to bounce everything off of a Studer straight from the converter to the tape machine and to the console. And that was something I really missed about Masterdisc, was having that tape machine there. You know, there's tape sims out there, but this one is just, you can throw it on and really just do nothing, and it kind of just does what it's supposed to do. And the multi-band, I always love doing multi-band, especially on the low end. The 4020 EQ is really nice. It's like something between a Manley and a Sontec or something. I don't know how to describe it. It just has that nice roundness and punch and clarity and presence, and it just pushes things forward more into, you know, into focus a little bit more from the speakers.
Yeah. No, that's good. And if you are familiar with tape machines, especially like one like, you know, a place like Masterdisc, and you've used a Studer a lot, it was kind of challenging to like get some of that stuff together. I don't know if you ever knew Jay McKnight. He was like, for a long time, like he headed up the AES Historical Society, but he worked like at Ampex, and he worked on all kinds of tape machines. And he had written all these papers about how they worked and what they were trying to solve. And he used to tell me, you know, we thought we were trying to like make everything super flat and perfect. And then we realized all the customers, they liked a little bit of a low end bump or a little bit of this or that. And then we were like, oh, well, we should like stop what we're doing and just like keep it the way it is. And it's interesting talking to him because he sort of lived all that and trying to make it what he thought was better. Oh, you want more of that? I thought you wanted less. Oh no, more of whatever he was trying to resolve as an engineering problem was actually like an engineering benefit.
There's a little bit more top end with the modern selection, which I kind of liked for this program. You know, the vintage kind of like clamps things down on the top end, but you know, you press the button, you hear what it's doing. The thing about knowing that stuff is like working with it, you know, like I had the Soundtech 432C and I had the Massive Passive, you know, I had those things at my fingertips like every day. So, you know, when you worked with the analog stuff and you get plugins, you know what you're chasing after. And, you know, when something like this pops up and you're like, oh, it reminds me of these two things that I used to use every day. And it's just a lot easier to get what you want out of them, you know. But yeah, they sound great.
Mike, thanks again for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Wish everybody the best of luck.
Love what you do, man. You're a genius.
I'm just some guy who makes some simple tools. I give them to people who know what they're doing and they do amazing things. That's you folks. Thanks. That's great.